but we can't set that up, but I can announce what I'm doing. All right. And so far on the poll, thank you guys for taking the poll. Going to be doing polls now. I think this is fun. You guys can let me know what you think about that. But so far in the poll, 4 out of 6 of you are doing a home station while 2 are participating with the club.
I'll probably be doing a combination of them. I'll go that. I'm going to go over and help John get set up over there and probably work some stuff from there. And then when it gets a little colder, I don't think I want to be out in the cold, but I'm going to come home and uh, probably work some CW from here. So,
yeah. Okay, everybody, we are live on YouTube. Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the Southwest Florida TechNet. My name's Ian, KO4EFS. I'm here. Well, actually, my co-host isn't here. He's ill as well, I believe. He's up in Kentucky, but we'll probably see him a little later. That's Joseph, KM4OVZ. Tonight, co-hosting with me is John, AA4JS, and he is the Winter Field Day Coordinator for the Fort Myers Amateur Radio Club, and he's going to be talking to us tonight about what they're doing and their setup over at the North Fort Myers Recreation Center. What's up, John? How's it going, buddy?
Well, hello, Ian. Make sure I'm off. Yep, I'm off mute. Hello, Ian, and hello, everybody. Good to see you all tonight, or hear you. And yeah, I'm. This will be our 4th year, and I know Ian has heard me say this before, and some of the others of you may have it well. But Christians have Christmas, Hebrew people have Rosh Hashanah, pagans have Halloween. Amateur radio guys have field day. This is our holiday.
Sure is.
It is truly the holiday of ham radio, as far as I'm concerned. I know that there are hams that don't go in for field day, but to me, this is one of the big events. The summer field day, the ARR field day in the summertime, and then winter field day. And this will be the 4th year that FMARC has done Winter Field Day. And we started in 2019. And I I had heard of Winter Field Day, and one time at a meeting, I asked the question, well, has this club ever done Winter Field Day? And there was a little bit of discussion around the table about it. And finally, Robert Ficcarelli, who was the president at that time, said, well, there you go, John, you're in charge. Let's do it next year.
You got to be careful when you ask questions.
That is how I got voluntold.
That's like you got to be careful when you pose ideas. You're going to be in charge of it.
Exactly. So I was voluntold, and I've had a good time with it. I've enjoyed doing this. It's been a great thing. So, like we do in the ARR Field Day in June, we set up at the North Fort Myers Recreation Center. There behind the new library on the Tamiami Trail. There is 2 football fields, a soccer field with a pavilion in between them. So we've got lots of room to set up antennas and get separation, and the nice pavilion to get under in case it rains or if the sun's hot or whatever. Oh, cool. Ian's even got the map up there for us.
Awesome.
And yep, that's it. And so you see the soccer field there at the bottom and the 2 football fields at the top. There's a flagpole that we try to keep everybody from hitting when they're coming in and parking, and especially backing out. We have 2 different hams that have had casualties with that flagpole at different events.
Flagpole problem here.
Now it's an actual flagpole, and so we've gotten to where now we put orange cones around it. So yep, right there, and you can see the shadow of it. So we try to mark it off
that to an antenna.
Orange cones. And well, now pretty much every field day, winter and summer, we pull a wire up on that sucker because there's never a flag on it. So yeah, we use it. We use that goalpost you saw there in the picture a moment ago. We use those bleachers to tie off wires. So lots of places that we can put antennas up. Of course, we bring the county's beam antenna trailer with the big beam on it. We use that.
We tried to get John to climb this light tower and put one up there, but he wouldn't do it.
Yeah, my climbing days are over, guys. So we start setting up tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, and we start operating actually at 2 o'clock in the afternoon after our master chef, KC1FLU, has fed us lunch well.
Oh,
And
John, not to interrupt, but just to show
damn
people,
sure.
when you come in past the library, you're going to go past the library, follow the main road back, all the way back to the cul-de-sac or to the roundabout, whatever you want to call it, and then go left at the roundabout and park back here.
Been
Yep.
there before.
Yep. A few cars can park along here, and then after that, the rest of us park here in this parking lot
Yeah.
right here.
Mhm.
Mostly the ones
you
along
can
the
come
sidewalk
down.
there are loading and unloading.
Yeah, I normally turn left and come straight down through the parking lot here is how you can do it.
That
You just
works.
park right there. It's perfect.
Yep.
And then if you're staying the night shift, you can get permission to come around and park over here is what we normally do, the 3 or 4 of us that are doing the night shift or whatever. But yeah, it's pretty good. There's a gate right here. They will lock at night, and there's a plan for that. Just get with John if you're doing the night shift. But anyway, there you go, John. What else? Do you need?
Thank you, and I appreciate you putting the picture up there. So we operate from 2 p.m. Saturday to 2 p.m. Sunday. And yes, we do have some night shift people. Hopefully they'll be bundling up, and
They better.
we have
36 degrees.
yeah, we do have some provisions to help keep some of the folks that are staying overnight warm. So hopefully everything will go well.
I hope that includes firewood.
And well, it includes trailers and motorhomes with you.
Yeah.
All of this makes me think of a QRP contest known as Freeze Your Buns Off.
Yeah, that would be a good thing. So it's open to the public, so you're welcome to come on out and say howdy and look around or whatever. And so that's my plug for Winter Field Day. Ian had asked me to talk a little bit about the rules of Winter Field Day, and I
Yeah,
saw he had those thrown up there.
I'll bring them right back.
And I'm
Before
not
we do
sure.
that, I wanted
Okay.
to show you one thing real quick. Here's the weather forecast. Yes. Saturday. In the morning tomorrow morning, it's going to be in the 40s, and it's going to struggle to make it up to 56 tomorrow for a high. And with the 20-mile-an-hour sustained wind, that puts the wind chills in the 40s. And then tomorrow night, it's going to dip right down to freezing. We will probably have frost on the grass out at the North Recreation Center. And then I just wanted to mention that it's going to struggle to make 60 on Sunday. So it's going to be a mess. And then we're back down almost to freezing again for Monday morning. So this is not unprecedented. It's an unusual cold snap. Happens about every 2 or 3 years for us down here. I just wanted to mention that. And then let me get back over to that other screen. There it is, John. Go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, it's all bands, HF, VHF, and UHF, except for 12, 17, 30, and 60, the WARC bands. And modes CW, SSB, AM, FM, D-Star, C4 FM, DMR, providing that it's RF simplex and not using repeaters or wired connectivity, i.e. internet, hotspots and things like that. Also packet, PSK, SSTV, RTTY, Olivia satellite, etc. That is any mode that can, and this is their words from, and I don't know if it's on the page here that you have up or not, but
This is right from their rules. So
their words was any mode that can faithfully transmit the exchange intact without a conversion table. And then highlighted in yellow, they have FT8 and FT4 cannot. So the organizers of Winter Field Day, which this is not an ARRL event, this is a freestanding entity that came up with this. And while most of the rules follow the ARRL Field Day rules, the organizers of this believe that FT4 and FT8 have very minimal message carrying capabilities in a disaster situation or the type of situation where amateurs might be setting up in the field. And they consider field days a training and uh, practice for a true field activation. Ironically, the ARRL does allow FT8 for an FT8.
Huh.
On
And
FSB, oh, go ahead, Ian.
no, I just wanted to say I have very mixed emotions on that. You might believe that I would disagree with him on this, but um, I think FT8 and FT4 have become so popular. I think it's probably good to disallow it in some of our bigger events so that we can get back on phone and CW and things like that. So I'm not going to disagree with it. I think it's probably a good thing. I do. I love FT8, but I do FT8 361 days a year.
Yeah.
I really don't need it. I mean, my lord, I think it's probably a good thing to go ahead and let's just leave it out
Notice
of this
they
one.
did not mention JS8 call, which of course is based on the protocol of FT8, but nevertheless is more conversational.
But
And
John's right. In the expanded definition, JS8 call would qualify, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
my understanding, well, I've never done JS8, but
I
my
have
understanding is
something.
since you can actually carry the exchange,
Right.
that JS8 call is allowed. So, and like you, Ian, I have kind of mixed emotions about that. As you all know, I've done a lot of FT8, and my first love is still SSB phone, but I've done a lot of FT8, and I like the mode, and I'm not one of those curmudgeons that blast it and say, oh, that's hooey or whatever. I like FT8, but I certainly understand the reasoning. There's not a lot of messaging carrying capabilities, so in a disaster situation, it's not a whole lot, not terribly effective.
Actually, that's a software issue. Maybe in FT8A, they'll fix that.
Well,
There you
they're
go.
they're limited to very short data strings.
Yeah.
Right.
So, there's only so many messages you can put in a short data in that short a data string. And I
Truthfully,
think
what makes it so good is what also makes it so bad.
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
You hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah.
Weaknesses and strengths, just like every other mode.
It
Right.
works so good because of its simplicity, but it also makes it useless in emergency.
And as you see there on the screen, they have some suggested frequencies, but they are suggested. So, generally on field days, you'll see folks, all over the phone bands.
Wherever you can legally
And
operate. Maybe.
right, and wherever you can find a spot to call CQ, quite frankly.
And remember, if you're looking for multipliers, if you're looking for points, or if you're working to get your club some points, remember it's not really a contest, but it is. But it's not. But it is. Um, what you can do to get some multipliers, go to the AM calling frequency if you got a second radio or one that's not being used, and just leave it on and squelch it, or go and call every so often on the AM calling frequency on AM. I made a contact and got a multiplier on several contests so far. Also, I've done 2-meter single sideband call channel and 2-meter FM call channel. You can get people on that too and make a contact. Each of those would be a multiplier. You only need one contact on a band or a mode to make it a multiplier. And
Okay, let me clarify that.
go ahead, John. Thank you, because you know
The,
a lot more about this than I do.
the multipliers are, they're actually, for scoring these, there are three modes: CW, phone, and digital. So AM, FM, or sideband would all be a phone. Of course, CW would be CW, and digital would be PSK31, RTTY, Olivia, even SSTV is mentioned in the rules.
Right.
You could do SSTV.
But that would count as the digital third. The 1/3
Right.
is
That
digital.
would be
Right.
that would be a digital.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah, I've worked somewhere every mode was a multiplier, and those are pretty cool. But yeah, I guess this one's not like that. But This is only my second winter field day, guys. Excuse my ignorance. That's why I got John here tonight. Keep me in line.
And so eh, you can see the recommended frequencies there. There are three categories of entry, and they are indoor, outdoor, and home. So those of you that are just going to stay home and work it at home, obviously you're a home station or 1H, unless you've got somebody working it with you, and then you'd be a 2H. Uh, and indoor is essentially setting up someplace from which you don't usually operate, but still being indoor. And then, of course, outdoor is actual outdoor, someplace away from where you normally operate. And so if you set up out in your yard, but hook up to your 40-foot tower and the wire that you usually talk on at home, that's still a home station. And Ian already said it. I'm coming down my notes here, and Ian already said, this is not a contest, but we still keep score.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a fun contest to see if you can get the most points in your club, to see if you get the most points in your area, to see if your club can get the most points. It's a fun thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bragging rights.
Yeah.
So the way it's scored, voice contacts are worth 1 point apiece. CW contacts are worth 2 points apiece.
Yeah.
And digital contacts are 2 points each. That harkens back to the time, actually, that's the ARRL rules too. And that harkens back to the time when the ARRL was first starting to promote digital operations, when it was a new thing. And they were trying to promote it so they'd give you extra points for doing it. That has never gone by the wayside, although to me, sitting there and doing FT8, and I'll tell you, the last couple of ARRL field days, I've done a bunch of FT8 to rack up the points faster. And, you know, I will still spend an hour or two, though, on phone doing phone contacts, because that's what I love most. This year, this is different than past years, they are limiting to 100 watts power. And I imagine,
I'm good with that.
I haven't heard this anyplace official, but I imagine the thinking is, you know, you're not going to be dragging a 1500 watt amplifier out to an Aries activation, or, you know, in, you know, a hurricane or tornado cleanup. You're not going to be dragging 1500 watt amplifiers out there. You're going to be running on very basics. So they've limited it to 100 watts. They also have a QRP category, which gives you a multiplier of 4. And their definition of QRP is 5 watts maximum carrier on CW, or 10 watts maximum peak power on phone and digital. So that's their definition. You know, everybody's got a little different definition of what they call QRP. So they spelled this out very clearly in the rules, that this is what they are considering QRP. As Ian mentioned earlier, there are multipliers for the number of bands. So our total number of points last year, we got to multiply by 13, because we had a total of 13 different modes/bands. So, of course, that's a great way to pump up your score, is get more bands, get more modes. And then there are bonus points for certain things. 500 point or 1500 point bonus if no commercial power is used. If you're using totally battery power or solar power or off-grid power, that's a 1,500 point bonus. And we always do that. We run on generators. I take my solar setup and my battery out. Uh, and a couple of guys do solar. And so we always go for that one. Uh, there's a 1,500 point bonus if you're an outdoor operation. And of course, fortunately, being here in Florida, even though it's going to be cold, it's not going to be like it is other places in the nation. So we will go for that outdoor operation. Bonus points if it's not a home operation. Bonus points if you make a QSO by satellite, and you just have to make one satellite QSO. And this year we'll have Brian KM4YHZ with his satellite setup, and we'll also have Bob Lewis in 8GU, who's got a satellite setup that he uses, and it's not anything big and fancy like Darley's, but he is pretty good with it, and generally, for POTA activations and things, he always gets a handful of satellite contacts. Our first year in 2019, we made a total of 451 contacts. In 20, we increased it a little bit to 476. Last year, we increased it a little more to 483. So we've increased a little every year. So hopefully we'll be over 500 this year. And we got a better multiplier this past year than we'd ever had before. So it's been a lot of fun, and I know it's going to be cold, but it's still going to be a lot of fun. And so that's everything I've got in my notes, Ian. Any questions? Anybody have any comments or questions or concerns or anything?
Yeah, the website's showing 412 sites have already pre-registered for the field day. You guys are in there, W4LX. But yeah, 412 sites registered, but I already see 2 sites I know of that are going to be up that aren't in here. So there's probably a lot more than that. Plus, there's a lot of people that just work it to work it. They don't actually even submit a log or anything, and that's perfectly fine. Let me tell you guys something. The reason I like to do this is not to win. You're not in it to win it. You're in it to learn. You're in it to experience, and you're in it to have a good time. When I do this, I'm in it to make contacts. If I'm with a club, I'm in it to make contacts for the club. If I'm at home, like I'm going to be this weekend because I'm still not going out right now, and I don't think after 13 days of fever, going out and freezing cold for 2 days is probably a good idea.
No, probably not.
So I'm going to be in the shack right next to the heater, and I don't care if that's minus 20 points or not. But I'm going to have a good time with it. But what I like to do is it's about contacts. For me, I like to make contacts. I've got 11,000 contacts. I like to make contacts, and I made way too many contacts on FT8 and FT4, and I want to make phone contacts. I've only actually made like 600 or 800 phone contacts. And
actually, he's staying home because he has a cat to assist him.
Well, that's right. I got Snotty's the Shack Cat that's going to help me. But as long as we're not both talking at the same time, it's still a 1H station. Yeah. So. All right. Snotty's my Shack Cat. Anyway, yeah, she's outside. She'll be in later though. It is cold.
She's gonna stay out there long.
She'll be in the whole weekend. That cat won't go outside the whole weekend. She don't like the cold. Trust me. She's a Florida cat. But I like to make contacts real quick. But I want to keep moving ahead here because we're doing good on time, and a lot of people are here. Okay, Jack. Yes, we're seeing your screen. Okay, perfect. And let's see here. Yes, the next thing I want to tell you guys is the M1MM logger. And Rick knows a little more about this than me, and I don't know if I think John's used it too. So if there's anything you guys can help me with this on this, please help me. But I just want to show you guys, if you haven't used it before, The M1MM logger, don't let this confuse you. It's just a bunch of stupid windows stacked on top of each other, okay? Don't worry about all that. I just wanted to show you all the different things this does. You get this thing and you start you a new database and you call it Winter Field Day, and then you start you a new a new database. Then I do a new log within the database and I name it Winter Field Day 2022. And when you do that, when you click new log, you just have to fill this out. It's real easy. You click Winter Field Day up here. Am I right on this so far? Winter Field Day.
That's good.
Single op. If you're home alone, like the movie, then it's single op.
All bands.
All bands, power. Now, power, I
Turn
think.
that to lower.
Yeah, you can do low power. That's up to 100 watts. Most of us are running barefoot. So you can just run low power, and that helps your points. If you put high, technically you're not getting as many points or whatever. But I don't know how that works exactly. But
actually, if you put high, you're probably not going to get any because they're calling 100 watts the maximum.
The limit now, right?
But so anything 100 watts or under, they're calling low power.
Yeah. Right. So it may not accept your Cabriello file if you put high there because it's no longer allowed.
You put high there, you may disqualify yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. So and then here, you put what you're doing here. Okay. If you're going to do all three, you do all three. It's funny they don't have SSB and digital, which is what I do. So I don't know, but I'm only doing SSB. I'm pretty sure. But I select that anyway. That way I can do whatever the hell I want. And then that's pretty much it. I'm a fixed station, and I'm unassisted. Yeah. And
the cat doesn't count.
Well, no. As long as she uses the litter box, no.
Okay.
But no. So and then here's your exchange. One hotel, South Florida. Real simple. That's one home station, one transmitter home station. Now, let me tell you guys something. You can have one rig on 2-meter call, one rig on 2-meter sideband call, and your main rig working phone. You can do that. As long as you're only using one at a time, you can monitor on multiple radios. And then when you would just need to stop using the one, switch over to the other one, and then use that one and log that one. You're allowed to do that, okay? I want to make that clear. Just because you have one transmitter, that's one transmitter, not one receiver. So you can actually monitor other channels. And so that's what I like to do. I have several receivers here, and I'll put them on different channels receiving so that if someone nearby is trying to get a contact on a different band, I'll be there for them, and we'll both get the credit for it. Okay, so anyway, most of you are going to be one hotel, South Florida. You put that right in there. You put your operator thing there, and you're done. You click OK. It creates the database, and it looks like this. Oh crap! I know.
John,
yeah.
I got a question. Is that not one operator? They're not counting transmitters, operators, because I have 2 transmitters available on HF, and actually I got more than that, but 2 that are sideband and digital. So I think it's one operator.
Well, as one operator, you're only going to be able to operate one transmitter at a time. So I would call that a 1H. By the way, you catching anything out there, Dave?
Catching any? Oh, no. No. The picture's a misnomer because the sun's already set.
I expect you to pull something out of the water here just any time, a big 12, 15 pounder.
Yeah, that was out in Charlotte Harbor, and the state demolished all those.
Oh, okay.
It must have been really cool if the government took their time to destroy it. Anyway, you like how I put a positive spin on that?
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. Does anybody have any questions about M1MM logger? Because if you're going to do this, you need to do this, and I'll tell you why. Yeah, you can just make contacts. If all you want to do is sit at home and make a few phone contacts and practice tuning and talking to people on your single sideband, you can do that. Okay, you'll learn the rhythm, and it's good. It's good to practice. You don't have to turn your log in or anything. Make contacts, follow the rules, use the exchange properly, and then just call in and do it. But when the reason it's important to use a logger, even if you're not going to submit your log as a Cabriello or however they pronounce it file to the Winter Field Day folks, you still want to use the M1MM logger, and I'm going to tell you why. One thing that really pisses off contesters, serious contesters, and even though this isn't a contest, there's some people on there that are going to take this very seriously tomorrow. So don't go on there and keep calling the same guy over and over again. You'll piss him off. If you're using the M1MM logger, it will turn red and let you know, don't call that guy again. You've already called him. You'll hear this guy, K1, K1, and you'll hear him call K1, KK. You'll hear him. So what you do is you go in there and you type it in there, and the M1MM logger will tell you immediately if that person has already been contacted by you during this contest. It doesn't matter about your logbook. It only matters about this one contest. And then at the end of this whole thing, after you've logged everything into M1MMQ, or I'm sorry, logged everything into N1MM, whatever it is, logger, once you log it in there, it saves it for you. And then all you do is you save that as an ADIF file and you upload it to QRZ, and it all goes right into your logbook. And you get credit for all of it in your logbook. So that's what's really cool about the logger here, is it makes it real simple to save all of those contacts you made and put them right over into your QRZ logbook, or your HRD if you're so unfortunate, or whatever program you're using, whatever system you're using, and then of course migrate those over to Logbook of the World as well. And those count as
really easy to generate a Cabrillo file, and on most contests I do that, and then I'd send them that.
That's right. That's right. It's real easy to submit your log with M1MM. Makes the file for you. You email it to them. It's really easy, and it's real easy to upload your M1MM log to QRZ or to Logbook of the World or wherever else you log your contacts to. Logbook of the Old Man, EQSL. There's a bunch of them. So anyway, any questions on the M1MM logger? Does anybody have another logger they use you'd like to tell us about?
Yes.
Go ahead, John.
We use AC log from N3FJP.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's nice because we can network it at the site.
Who made
so,
that?
N3FJP.
Sorry, go ahead.
N3FJP, and the club has a license for it, and so we run a central server, so everybody that's working, it goes immediately into in real time into the central server, so you can on your log see how the other guys are doing, and likewise if you type in a call sign that somebody else has worked, it's going to show you. But if somebody else, presumably the other station's working another band, so it will tell you if somebody's worked the station on your band or on another band, and so you know whether you want to go ahead and work them or not. And to me, it's a pretty straightforward, it's pretty easy to use, user-friendly log. Honestly, I've never used the N1MM log, but I like this one. This is what we use for our POTA activations and our field days, and but it's kind of cool because you can network them and go into one server. We've even got a screen that shows what area, what sections we've worked. It colors them in nice little colors, and it's real pretty. And but I know a lot of guys use the N1MM product, and obviously it's a good product, and there are several good options out there. This just happens to be the one the club has licensed for several years, and so the one that we use and the one that most of us are used to.
Yeah, I've used this one too.
Yeah, I used this one last winter field day with FMARC, and it was great. I liked it.
No, it's fine.
He's right. You can actually bring up you use multiple screens with this, and have a big United States and Canada map where you can see everything fill in, and yeah, it's great. And there's a login. Yeah.
In fact, one field day I worked in 3FJP.
Mm-hmm.
The writer of the software.
The dude himself.
Yeah, I worked in one MM one time too. I was amazed. I thought, wow.
There you go.
Pretty cool.
All right. Anybody have another software they use, or anything else on field day?
I think those are the two favorites.
I think so too.
Yeah, they seem like it.
They're both good programs. I've used them both, and they both seem to work great. So that's the important thing there. Let's see here. All right. Anything else on field day? I wanted to talk just for a few minutes about how you actually do field day, because I think a lot of people are intimidated by it. I was intimidated by it. First time I went out there, I sat down next to John, and I wasn't even going to bring my radio or nothing. I said, I'm just going to come and watch you. Maybe I'll do it for a little while. I did the typical, I don't know, I'm going to really suck at this. And I get there, and it's a great environment. Everybody's really nice. John taught me what to do in 10 or 15 minutes, showed me what to do. He worked the pile up, and I'm like, okay. So he gave me his mic, and I sat there, and I worked it for about 2 or 3 hours and just freaked out and had a great time. And I told him I had to go, and he's like, where are you going? I'm like, I have to go get all my equipment and bring it back. So and I did. I drove home, and I ripped my whole shack out, and I brought it down there and set up my 8-foot table and all my shit. And I was going, man. I had it going on. I had a good time, man. I worked all night up there, froze my ass off, and it's going to be about 10 or 15 degrees colder this year than it was last year. So, anyway,
I think the Atlanta guys that I know they're gonna get out in the afternoon. They're gonna do like I do. They're gonna work during the daylight hours, and when it gets dark, they're gonna go home.
I have a funny feeling we're not going to have as many people on the night shift radios this year like we did last year, just because it's going to be 15 or 20 degrees colder with wind everywhere than it was last year. I mean, it was a cool time last year, but it wasn't near like this. This is going to be, for Florida, this is pretty cold. Yeah. This is a Florida blizzard.
It'll truly be a winter field day.
Yes. Yeah, we're getting it all the way down here. It's very unusual to get 2 nights right at 30,
like
and it's 32. Well, the last time we got into the 20s 2 nights in a row was Christmas 1990. So I mean, this doesn't happen. Yes, that was 32 years ago. In Christmas 1990, it got down to 27 and 28, 2 nights, and it struggled to make 50 during the day in between. And it ruined the crops down here. It was a devastating time for our farmers.
I had come down here from Atlanta, and I couldn't believe it. Damn, it's cold down here. It's so like Atlanta.
Yeah, we don't hardly see 20s down here. You'll see 20s at Eastern Lehigh, maybe, if you've got your yard out in Eastern Lehigh. But for up here in North Fort Myers, or even in the city, to see a 29, Page Field, I think, got 30 or 31. And we swear that the temperature gauge at Page Field's inside the tower, because it's never quite as hot or as cold as it is everywhere else. But anyway, let's see here. I'm looking at the radar, and I don't think we're going to have like a big rain event associated with this. It really doesn't look like there's all that much going on here. I mean, it's this front's coming, but I don't really see that there's a whole lot of anything coming with it. Doesn't look like there's going to be sometimes when you get a really cold system like this, you get a really walloping, line of storms come through. Doesn't look like it's setting up in this one.
Well, we don't need any more tornadoes.
Nope.
No, I will tell you, we are going to get some wind tomorrow. I don't think it's quite to the level of issuing an aluminum alert. But I think we're going to see 20 sustained with gusts to 25. not that big a deal. But anyway, yeah, I just don't see much here other than maybe a few sprinkles overnight. That's trying to make it on shore there. Let's see if it makes it. It kind of fades out when it gets here. See, it's kind of fading out when it gets here.
Yeah, it looks like about the time it hits landfall, it peters out.
Yeah, that means there's just not quite enough moisture in the atmosphere. And as soon as it
Uh-huh.
loses that little bit of lift it's getting in the water, it's done. Because the air over land sinks at night and the air over water rises. So storms generally will weaken as they come on shore overnight. Anyway, all right, there we go. Any questions on that? Anything on that, on this cold spell? I mean, this is going to be one heck of a cold spell coming through. We don't normally see that number.
Yeah, right.
uh, and there's some areas that we're under a freeze watch, believe it or not, and a frost warning for tomorrow morning, or for, I'm sorry, Sunday morning and Monday morning.
So bring in the brass monkey.
Yep. Tomorrow morning will be 47. It's going to be chilly, but then it's only going to go up like 5 degrees all day long. It's going to be like cold all day. It's going to suck. All right. And then, like I said, the wind is going to be about 20, peaking out, gusting over 25, about 25 usually, with sustained at 20. So, anyway, and notice no clouds, no clouds. And down here in Florida, the clouds are our friend. They're our blanket when it gets cold. They keep
Yeah,
us
that's
warm. They
right.
keep us warm at night, and we don't have any clouds to keep us warm at night. So we're going to radiationally cool pretty quick. All right. Anyway, nothing else on that. Space weather. I want to tell you guys. By the way, we'll probably have a little bit of a shortened net tonight because my guts are hurting and I'm still not myself. But let's just keep on moving here. There's a sunspot turning around to face Earth. Look at that puppy. We're going to be looking down the barrel of that thing during field day, so we're going to have to see what happens. The good news right now is the solar flux has actually gone up a little bit. And as you know, as the solar flux goes up for 2 or 3 days, we start to see better propagation. I actually think we might get some improved propagation for this weekend, just because the solar flux has slowly been rising for 3 days now. And so I'm trying to get that to pull up here. My computer's doing officially now 9 things at once. All right, here we go. This is the current solar conditions out there. And you can see oh crap, look what happened. Oh my God. Oh, we got blown up between now and the time the show started. Oh, look at that. The K index went to 4. We just lost all the bands. We're active on the geomagnetic field. Man, oh man, that's going to screw things up. We got, look at this,
Crappy
man.
this afternoon for the SSP.
I'm going to tell you something. It was calm 4 hours ago. I checked this 4 hours ago. We had a K index of 2. We had an SFI of 114, and everything was wide open, and the geomagnetic field was quiet. This thing has gone crazy. Does this mean that the air is going to be, that the propagation's bad right now? It could, yeah. This could actually cause some decreased propagation in the morning. We're going to have to see. We're going to have to see if this calms down in the morning and we can get this K back down to about 2. That's not good. That planetary K index, like right there, is going to. It means that the field's very active, and that's going to disrupt long-range propagation. So that sucks. Sorry about that, guys. You may not even notice. Just we're still going to get plenty of contacts. It's just it's nice when we get a little help from above, if you know what I mean. But anyway, that's I guess this thing exploded here apparently in the last few minutes. I wonder if we got any radio blackouts. Is this the current? Has he updated yet? No, he hasn't. All right, I'll watch for an update while we're on here. The inoculescent clouds are going crazy. Those are cool. But they think they were excited by that Tonga volcano. Okay, anyway, so yeah, let's keep an eye on that. That's crazy, guys. We literally have a situation there where this is happening while we're in the actual show here. Spaceweatherlive.com. Let's check a couple of websites here. Okay, there we go. They've issued a G1 geomagnetic storm watch, and there's oh, wait a minute. No, that's old news. Okay, hold on. See if there's anything. Oh, get out of my way. Yeah. Okay. Well, some of these things take a little while to update, so we'll keep an eye on it. All right. Anyway, so there you go. That's pretty cool, though. You got to admit that's that happened kind of in real time here tonight. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest with you. Where is my other screen? Oh, I lost the screen. Okay, let me just get rid of this. All right. Does anybody have anything that they would like to bring tonight for open lines? Does anybody have a project they're working on? Anything they're trying to install? Anything they're trying to do that they're having issues with that we can possibly help? We got some great hands in here. Dave's and Steve's and John's and Rick's that have been doing this a long time. So is there anybody out there that we can provide some help and assistance to for open lines? Come now. Wow. Okay, let me get back to the newsletter. All right, I'll run through the newsletter real quick, and then we're probably going to call it a night a little bit early because we do have field day tomorrow. So, setup starts pretty darn early, guys. You can also, at any time you would like, you can go and find our newsletters online. I know I send them out, but in case you don't get them or in case you want to go see one from the past, just so you guys know, on the TechNet website, we have an archive, and I'm going to be reorganizing it soon. But right now, and in the future, there will always be an archive of all of our newsletters. So basically, when you click the newsletter tab, you're going to see our newsletter, the latest one. And then if you just scroll down, they're all here. You can go right back through them. It's an easy history of all the different newsletters that we've had. So if you want to, like, if you like one of our projects or one of our project pages or one of our topic pages or mystery pages or something, you can scroll back. We do the same thing over and over, different topics and stuff, and you can check it out if you like the newsletter. The Southwest Florida WatchNet, I've already had 5 or 6 people sign up. So if you signed up, I'm going to get to you. I've been sick. I'm going to get you guys a letter welcoming you aboard here before long. So I'm looking forward to getting as many people signed on. You do not have to sign up for the WatchNet to call into the WatchNet and be a part of the WatchNet. I would like you to, but you don't have to. And you also, just like everything with Aries and everything with everywhere else in ham radio, it's free for everyone to join. It's free for everyone to participate, even if you don't join. But I want to let you guys know, if you want to join, that'd be great. You can sign up for the alerts and then just put you want alerts only, and all you'll get is the alerts. You won't get any of the email updates about the group or the clubs or any of that kind of stuff. All you'll get is just the alerts when there's storms coming. If you put that you want to be a net controller, I'm looking for net controllers. So I would love to talk to you about that. So please, if you want to get involved in this, it's actually taken shape pretty quick. This has all happened in the 2 weeks that I've been sick. So I think it's going to go pretty rapidly here as we get into it. All right, we already went over field day, so let's skip past that. And we already did that. And we already did. Look at that. That was earlier today. Look at this. The Kate was 1 earlier today. It exploded. We were very quiet, fair. Everything was good. We had all kinds of open bands. And then we get screwed by the sun. By the way, I found this. And I even got the link in here to the guy's website down here if you want to see more about it. But I put a great piece in here on how to read this thing and what each thing means. So when you look at this thing, it actually means something to you, and it's not just a bunch of colorful numbers that look very similar to my website. So I just let you know that's it's in the newsletter if you want to check that out. It's a great it shows you what each of these things mean to you. All right, and we talked about this already. They've already dialed this down a degree since I put the newsletter out this morning. So there you go. Swap Shop returns in 2 weeks. And I screwed up the date last time, so I just threw it in again this time. The Gab Fest. John, is this one of the ones you're sharing with Charles now?
Yes, I
Go
share
ahead
net
and plug
control
it.
duties. Thursday evenings at 8 o'clock on 146.490. Yes, that's right, simplex. So no PL tone is required, and it's kind of a good way to see how well your simplex radio works. And we generally have guys from Lehigh and guys from as far north as Port Charlotte and South Fort Myers and North Fort Myers. And fortunately, I'm kind of in the middle of all of them, so I can usually hear all of them. And that makes it kind of nice for me. So, and Charles, who doesn't live too far from me, probably mile and a half from me, likewise, he's the other net controller. Uh, so we're us being kind of right in the middle of all the regulars that check in. Generally, we can hear everybody, so we try to take turns doing the net control duties, and it's a lot of fun. It's just a gab fest. We go 2 rounds and just kind of shoot the breeze, talk about whatever's on our mind, and so if you're interested in what you might be able to do with Simplex, that's a good time to check it out. 8 o'clock on Thursday evenings, 146.490.
It's the one I like this one, and a lot of times I'm getting off right at 8, and I check in on this, and I'm gonna tell you guys what I do. There's no traffic at 8 o'clock at night going over the Edison Bridge, so a lot of times I'll make the turn there, and when he'll come on and start, I get out at like 7:57. I'm walking out. So when he's asking for check-ins, I'm pulling out of the Wink building there, and I'm coming down First Street, and I'll turn, and I try to wait. I'll slow down, and I'll pull into the emergency lane because there's nobody coming. And I'll pull over and I'll just slow down to where I'm right at the top of the bridge when I check in. And I'm like, I bet you I got the clearest signal of all with my big 5/8 wave that I bought to go on this van, and my 50-watt radio turned all the way up, and I'm up on top of this 2,000 something foot bridge. I'm like, I've got to be the clearest one out here. And then I try to get home before it's my turn to talk, because if not, not everybody's going to hear me because I'm going to be back down at ground level again. But anyway, just to give you the story of my little game that I play on that. All right, let's see here. The DX stuff I don't go over, but if you guys are interested, there's always this in the newsletter where you can see who's operating DX stations, and you can try to call them. Sometimes they even have what frequencies they're going to be on and things like that. There's articles in here about restoring Tonga's communications. They're still having issues down there. They've got one dish that's able to provide internet to one island right now, and they're trying to funnel everything through that. And so all that information's in here. I think they finally got that 5G plane interference issue figured out. But there's issues with the 5G affecting altimeters in some of the larger aircraft. And so, but I think they finally reached an agreement where this won't now crash that. So anyway, and Hams joined FCC's Tech Advisory Council. They're actually going to ask our opinion on stuff. That's great. Whatever. I'll leave it there. And there's another silent key in here. As with ham radio, I mean, obviously a lot of people really get into ham radio later in life. And unfortunately, we seem to always be losing important folks. But I try to note those when I get them. Anyway, there you go. And did you know, John taught me this, the work bands. I asked him when I was out there at Winterfield Day last year, John, the hell's a work band? I didn't know. He says, you know, this group has come together and they basically made these 4 bands that they don't want anybody contesting on. We need to keep bands open for people to talk on, and I think that's awesome too. So does anybody want to talk about this or mention anything else about this? But I just wanted to show you guys what the work bands were. That's what it means. WARC, the World Administrative Radio Conference, agreed with everybody around the world to not use these 4 bands, 60, 30, 12, 17 and 12. Yeah. And I know sometimes they don't list 60, but 60's on there too. It's 60, 30, 17 and 12. Anybody have anything on that? Remember, for Winter Field Day, guys, we don't use the work bands.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. But you can use every other freaking band known to man. Okay, let's see. Funny boners this week. The middle one's for John. Come to Field Day. They said it'll be fun. I love that, dude. I see John say, "Hey, take that dish and carry it up to the top of those stands over there." And
Now would I do that to somebody?
I love it. I found that picture and I howled. I'm like, "Oh, I'm putting that in. That's hilarious."
The one on the right looks like a scrambled egg.
Yeah, it's a ham.
Oh, okay.
It's a ham. It's wrapped up in plastic. What can I tell you? We didn't want to get it on the chair, right? I didn't. That's not my picture. I found that. But anyway, and ham radio. Some people really get into it. Contest this weekend. I don't know if I mentioned it yet, but this weekend is Winter Field Day.
You think? Did you
I
mention-
think I had heard something about that someplace.
But there's the information in case you missed it. And in case you don't like Winter Field Day, there's 2 other crazy contests here you can get involved, but they're both CW. So you got to do that DD-DA thing.
Only 160. Man.
Yeah, 160. It's like, I don't even know if I own that much wire.
Yeah.
160 meters is like from here to the convenience store.
You just gotta have to hijack an old dead AM broadcast station.
No, what I want to do is get a drone and fly it up in the air 160 meters.
There you go. That'll work.
Yeah, except every time I key down, the drone will lose flight. Oh, anyway. All right. So there you go. Contests. Any questions about that? Public's welcome. I wanted to mention this, even though I'm not able to participate physically somewhere this year. Bring your family. This is a great time to bring that wife. Let her meet your friends. Personalize ham radio for your family. Show your grandchild. Winter Field Day is probably the #1 best opportunity to show them what working amateur radio guys look like with their portable stations set up and running. It's Field Day Fun Day, and I just want you guys to utilize this opportunities with the media, with anybody anywhere that wants to see anything about ham radio. This would be the time to bring them out and show them ham radio. Show them a bunch of old guys freezing their asses off.
Boy, I wish I knew somebody in the media that could maybe help with something like that.
Hey, if you guys want to, do we have a press release? I mean, I will send it over to them directly. I'll send it right to the newsroom.
Well, John,
I'll do that for you guys, John.
Are our PIOs, and
they never contacted me.
My understanding is that they have sent out press releases.
Okay. I know. I hate to say it, guys, but I work in the media. Press releases, I every time I see a press release, it makes me cringe. It's like, on this date, at this time, the Amateur Radio Association is holding a open house for people to come see us working our radios and working systems that can be used in a disaster to help us save people and lives and floods and helps in wires and that's all people hear when they read that. That's what they hear. What I do when I write a press release, I write it for them, not for me. I don't write what I'm doing because I know what I'm doing. I'm writing for them. And I write something like, what? Bunch of people working radios, wires stretched everywhere, blinking lights. When? This day, all day, we can accommodate you for the morning show, the evening show, the afternoon show. We can do stand-ups. I can line up interviews. We can do this and that. And the other thing, we'll have coffee, cookies, and donuts for you. And we'll kiss your butt when you get here. And then in the very next one, it's like, We'll accommodate everything. We got electricity. We have a place for your van to set up. You can put masts up. You can do crazy things to our people. It's fun. And
Yeah.
you write a press release like that and they'll be like, oh shit, this is too easy to pass up, man. You know, so that's my piece of advice to people out there. When you're writing your press releases, don't
Don't
write it like it's a freaking
stop.
police report. On the 23rd of November at 12:30 p.m., this patrol officer arrived on scene of what appeared to be a traffic accident involving two vehicles, a red Honda Accord. I mean, you write, man, easy news story, lots of neat stuff going on, blinking lights, cool sounds, explosions.
Occasional smoke.
Yes, occasional smoke and maybe even bad language. Yeah, you want to just make it
Generally, those two coincide.
I know, yeah. Well, yeah. Usually the smoke, then the language.
Then the bad one.
That's been my experience, but yeah, that's ham radio.
It's deleted.
Magic smoke. But anyway, so yeah, that's kind of my speech on that is get everybody out there for field day. Make field day a time when you can get everybody out there and get them involved. And I'll tell you what, John, if you really want the media there, 344-5000. 344-5000. Just call them up after you get started and say, hey, come by this evening. We would love to show you guys around. And you can actually just call in and talk to the desk that day. It's another great way. 344-5000. Anyway, I want it to be successful. I mean, even though I'm not going to be out there, it's not really my club. I want it to be successful. I think field day is an amazing thing, and I think it's a fun thing, and I think it's also a great opportunity to expose the public to what we do, and I think we should not pass those up. Okay, let's see here. I guess that's about it. Everything else on here you know about. Don't need to go over any of that. Does anybody have anything else at this point that they'd like to bring up or go over? Anything at all? Weather, space weather, amateur radio, stuff you're working on, projects, anything but politics, religion, or borrowing money. I hate politics.
You get a gut load of it after a while.
Oh,
I want to ask John, what plans have we got for what radios and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, let's do it.
Most of the guys are bringing their own. You know,
I'll
I'm bringing my Go Box and my Wolf River antenna. I know most of the guys that are operating are bringing their own gear. The club trailer is going to be there with one club HF radio. So if somebody wanted to use it, they would. Of course, some of the rest of us would probably gladly let somebody sit down at our radios and work it for a while. You know, some hams will, some hams won't, but you know, that's the way I got started. Somebody at a club said, "Hey, you want to try this?" and sat down and got me started, and I had a blast working a special event, and enough that I went back for a field day up in Maryland. And in fact, I think with some guys that Dave WG4K knows up there, and I had just gotten to know some of these guys on the local repeater, and they invited me to come out to their clubhouse, and they were having the special event. So I went out. I wasn't a new ham, but I had just recently gotten my general and extra privileges, and so I had just upgraded, and so I really hadn't been on HF much, or any. And these guys set me down in a chair and got me started working that special event, and boy, I was hooked.
What town in Maryland, John?
Beltsville.
Okay, because I was a member of W3NAN, which was
Right. That's the bunch.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I was a member there, but that was back in the 60s.
Okay. This was, oh gosh, this was when I was up there in I guess in 2014, uh, I I stayed in the RV park there at Cherry Hill Park. So
Oh,
the closest repeater was their repeater. So
okay,
I
I'm back.
got to talking to those guys, and chatted with a few of them pretty regular, and they invited me to come out and see their clubhouse. And uh, there was one ham that was blind, and a W3 call. I don't know, and I don't remember the call sign, but one of the guys that was real friendly to me and real helpful to me, his last name was McCown, I think, and he was real active in the club, and but just a great bunch of guys, and they got me started and, on one of their club stations, and so I went back for field day. In fact, I heard him on the repeater asking for somebody to bring some sodas out, so I grabbed my cooler and went and got a cooler full of ice and two or three cases of sodas and took them, and uh, they just appreciated the heck out of me for that. And so I did a field day with them. It was kind of cool when a lot of these guys are either still either still working or recently retired from NASA. And so when they made a contact with the ISS on field day, needless to say, that place went nuts. It was just really something to hear those guys make a contact with the ISS from a NASA based club.
Hmm.
That's pretty cool. All right. So yeah, I'm sure Brian will get your satellite multiplier there. I will be passing on the satellites, no pun intended, um, because I don't have that equipment set up yet. Oh boy. Yeah,
You need to
I
call
that
Brian Darley.
yeah, that I'll tell you what, with the tree gone out of my yard, I I I got this old antenna that somebody gave me. It's a vertical. It's one of those multi-coil verticals. It's got like I think 8 or 9 coils on it, and I hook it up and it's ruined. It's just old, and it's the coils are all nothing's connect. The connectivity's not good, and I'm using it for parts. I've actually taken 2 or 3 parts off of it, and I realized today if I put that thing up like a fishing pole, it'll bend over just right. I can attach my wire on it, and it'll bend over just right and get it away from my tower. So I got my wire antenna with my ladder line coming straight down, a wire antenna, and I've got that thing up 25 feet now, and I've got both of my ends of my V at about 15, 17 feet. So I'm up a lot higher. I'm no longer under tree anymore. And I ordered a brand new feed line for it, which will arrive tomorrow, um, Amazon. And so I'm hoping to be doing much better on SSB phone tomorrow for field day. And I got my Ringo Ranger up 44 feet, and it's SWRing out perfectly. And I'm going to have it on 2 meters sideband. I'm hoping to get some people on that.
That'll be a killer antenna up that high.
Huh?
That should
Yeah,
be
it
a
should.
killer.
I know,
Killer.
and I fixed the ground plane on this, so it's a full Ringo Ranger. That's what the 11.5 feet or whatever, and it's got the full like 8 grounds to come off of the bottom. I fixed all that and put it back on again. So this thing does great.
Hmm.
I'm able to talk on cars up in Charlotte.
We have been invaded by the really?
Every night. That's 2 weeks in a row. We have some jackass pop in just before we sign off and try to make a bunch of noises and stuff. But that's fine. I just kick them out. I don't care. Whatever. Um, Last week, them two
Start
guys
calling you
popped in.
Tom.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Except I'm not stifling free speech. I'm getting rid of annoyances. Let's see here. All right.
Let's see.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about any of that. All right. So anyway, so far on our poll, I've had 8 people vote. 5 of the 8 will be doing home stations, and 3 of the 8, 38%, will be participating with a club. And no one that's in tonight said they will not be participating. So that's pretty cool. Of the 8 people that participated, we've had a bunch more than that come through, but of the 8 people that actually voted, that's what we ended up with. All right. Anything else? Anybody have anything else they want to talk about real quick? Like I said, it's going to be a short night. I'm not feeling too well.
Once again, you're all welcome to come out and join us. I know not all of you are local anymore, which is a good thing for the TechNet. So find a field day site wherever you are and go out and say hello to some of the local hams and get acquainted and look around. There's always, stuff to see you haven't seen before. And it's just a great way to learn about ham radio. And with that, guys, I'm going to cut on out of here because I've still got some stuff to pack up and get in the car, and so I can leave bright and early in the morning. Ian,
All right,
thanks for
John.
the opportunity to get in here and plug the winter field day operation. And
Yeah.
good luck to all of you on the HF bands. 73, everybody.
73,
Okay,
John. I hope to see you
you
down the
want-
log. Good luck tomorrow to you and the club.
Thank you.
All right. And there we go. That's John, a board member over at the FMARC, and also a one of our co-hosts here when we do Winter Field Day and different things. All right. So anyway, does anybody one last time have anything else that they'd like to talk about? I'm sitting here looking at the bands over here to see what's going on. I can't believe that there was a an explosion on the sun while we were in the show tonight. That was pretty cool. That doesn't happen very often. All right, so going back to FT8, I'm gonna check and see um, what FT8 looks like here. Let's see. I don't know. I can't wait till I get my new feed line. See, it's further away now, so I had to actually connect 2 feed lines together to get to it, and that always sucks. So tomorrow I got one brand new piece of feed line that's going to go from my tuner all the way to my balun.
What kind of
Uh,
cable is it? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know. I don't know the exact name.
RG8X or
It's
T13 or what?
I don't know.
Huh.
I don't know. It's about a $40 piece of wire. It's what I could afford and what I could get in overnight. Um, it's only 50 feet, so it's not like I'm going. It's not like I'm going 150 feet. Um, 50 feet on HF, you can get away with just about anything,
Anything, yeah. It's 50.
except these 2 crappy old wires I have connected with a barrel coupler. I really
Yeah.
don't think that's all that good. But I mean, you look at this, I don't know if you can see it from there. My waterfall is pretty full. I mean, on FT8, there's not even really a parking space right now.
Yeah.
So it's pretty busy. So we'll have to see there. But as soon as I got the antenna up, I started making contacts. The first time I'd click them, they'd come right back, come right back, come right back. So I'm like, well, apparently it's working. It's weird how I take the exact same antenna and hang it up from different poles in a different configuration, and the tuning's completely different now.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Nice.
crazy. Yeah, it's like totally the numbers are all different on my rotor tuner now.
You've changed the environment. It's it.
Mhm. Yeah, it's pretty cool though. So I'm hoping when I get that new piece of feed line tomorrow, and I hook that up, I'm I'm hoping that I get some really good some single sideband tomorrow. That's going to be fun. So I'm looking forward to it. Are you going to work from home and then just go up there and help them for a little bit, or what are you going to do, Rick?
You know, me,
Yeah.
I'll probably go over there in the morning and help them get set up and all that and probably work from for a while. And then when in the afternoon, I'll probably come on back over here and eat dinner as normal. And then I'll probably do some stuff from here at night.
There you go. What I'm going to be monitoring here, if you want to try to call me on it at some point, is 2 meter SSB call channel. This is what I usually do. Um, I think it's 144 200. Let me see here. we at? Where are we at?
I
Oh,
think you went past it.
I went past it. I went way too far. Okay.
National calling frequency 144 200.
Yeah. And so I'm gonna monitor 144 200 on my single sideband, upper sideband tomorrow, and then I'm also gonna monitor 2-meter call. Matter of fact, that's already on 2-meter call, and my FT8 radio tomorrow is actually going to be on sideband on 144 200, and then my big icon, which I hardly ever use with my mic, I'm going to actually use tomorrow. I love sideband, and I never get to use it. There's never anybody who wants to talk to me on it, so I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so that's what I'm planning on doing. That's what I'm going to be monitoring tomorrow. If you'll try to give me a shout on that, and I'll be on 2-meter FM call channel. What is it? 154 520.
Yeah.
144 520.
146.52.
Yeah, 146.52. That's it. I'll be on that on FM, and I'll be on this on single sideband because I can monitor both of those with my two good Ringo. I got two good Ringo antennas, and they're on corners of the property. So I can monitor and use those at the same, I can use one while I'm monitoring with the other without hurting anything. And then I got my wire over here out of the way, so I'm going to be able to run 3 radios receiving at one time. So that's pretty cool.
Yep.
So, yep. Looking forward to it. All this equipment can keep me warm.
Mm-hmm.
That's one cool thing. Once I turn first thing in the morning when I get up, I come out here and I flip the switches on to turn all the screens on and everything. And then I go back in the house. I come back out an hour later and it's nice and toasty out here.
Cheaper
all right.
than having to run a heater.
Yeah, it is. I'll tell you what. We ordered one of them oil ones today for our house because it's going to be so freaking cold. We don't normally use heat. If it's only in the upper 40s, we don't, I hardly ever use heat. Maybe a little bit, but
yeah,
it just doesn't get that cold down here. All right, last call. Does anybody have anything else? I know it's an early night, but it's field day, and I'm getting over a 13-day illness. If you guys have never run a fever for 13 days, you should try it. It's a blast. Yeah, it's literally like a week in the Poconos. You should try it. I swear to Christ, honestly, guys, this is between us now. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and end the YouTube feed. But hey, there's Micah. Hey, Micah, KN4IUU. Micah lived here in Fort Myers and is now up in Kentucky. Okay, let's see here. I am going to, in just a second here, I'm going to go ahead and stop the YouTube feed. Does anybody else have anything else before we stop the YouTube feed?
Just wanted to say hi.
Hey, Micah, glad you made it in. How are you guys doing up there?
Really good. It was just snowing about half an inch, so
oh wow,
I took the car out there and drove around some.
There you go. Yeah, you guys are getting a heck of a winter this year up there. It's your first winter in Kentucky, and it's a doozy.
I think it's Huntsville, Alabama, though.
Oh, that's right, Alabama. Am I saying Kentucky and it's Alabama? I'm saying the wrong. See, you can tell my mind's not in it tonight. I'm sorry, dude. My bad. Yeah, I'm saying the wrong state. I was close. Hell, I made Joseph his patch for his new team, and I don't even know what state he's in. Okay, anyway, all right, let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and stop the live stream. For those of you on YouTube, thank you for joining us tonight. This has been the Southwest Florida TechNet. We're on every Friday night starting at 8 p.m. right here on YouTube and on Zoom. You can find out more at www.swfltech.net. That's www.swfltech.net. And if you're an amateur radio operator or you think you might want to be one, join us on Zoom next week and participate. We'd love to have you in, and we'd love to have you be a part of what we do. Everybody, good luck tomorrow in Winter Field Day. This is the Southwest Florida TechNet signing off for Friday, January 28th,